Hey y'all, what's up? What's up, y'all? Today I want to talk about the cold approach debate because there's been some videos going around, and you got some dudes who advocate cold approaching a woman, like she don't give you any signals or anything, and then you have people advocating don't approach unless she give you some obvious choosing signals or choosing signals, period, even if they subtle. Um, where Rom stands on it, you got to do both. See, as I always say, this is an art, not a science. See, the thing with women, all women aren't the same. See, sometimes people do stuff like it's a formula thing, but all women ain't going to approach you the same way or even like you the same way. Like, let me tell a couple stories. You know how I do. Now, this wasn't quite a cold approach, but this is a woman I met on my job. Now, when I met her, I remember shaking her hand. It was like, my name Rom, and so and so. In fact, somebody introduced us. She didn't smile. She looked me dead in the eye. She didn't smile, showed zero emotion. We worked, she was on the job for a few weeks. You know, you talk business wise, but we didn't talk about anything really personal. Never really smiled. But she had a Coke bottle figure. She had a badunkadunk. She had a walk so fierce we gave that shit a name. Damn. She's actually in my phone now. Oh man. So keep this in context. Nothing, but I was like, damn, she fat as shit. And see, this way before like that whole sexual harassment or being bothered on the job thing was an issue, man. This was 90s, man. I was still living at home. And this wasn't even a full time job. This is more like a temp job anyway. And so anyway, I just said, fuck it. I went up to her. I said, you know what? We should make dinner together. But I don't have my own spot though. It's like, I'll come over your place, I'll bring some stuff, you make some stuff. I basically told her. She was like, okay. Gave me a phone number, gave me her address. I remember, bought some stuff I was making. I was making some lobster. She was adding some stuff to it. Went over there, and to quote the illustrious C Boogie, when she opened that door, she was teethy. I mean, that smile, man, that smile could have lit the way and whatnot, man, through a dark tunnel. I was like, damn, I didn't even know you could smile like that. Yeah, as soon as she closed that door, man, we were slobbing each other down. We were slobbing each other down. It was just like, and this is what she told me, though. It just get back to the whole cold approach thing, signal thing. She said she was attracted to me the moment she met me. But she gave me no indication. No indication. And even invite myself over like I did, that didn't really mean anything. Because women, well, it's been my experience. Sometimes women just need something to do. So they might not be feeling you, but they figure, oh, I'll hang out with this dude. Nah. Me and this, we got into it. She got movies and everything. She was a happy camper. I was like, damn. And I thought about that because I was thinking about this cold approach debate. And I thought about there's a lot of women I met who really didn't show emotion. Remember, all women, like in general, a woman needs to seduce a man. But sometimes, in order for her to seduce the man, she got to see him and even seduce him. Sometimes a way of seduction is to be quiet and let you come to them. Seduction means to lead astray. So they'll just present themselves, with the sexy walk quiet. It'd be like almost it's a real quiet way. They'll just present themselves, and it's like they're going out with a fishing net. They see who they catch. That's how they seduce. Sometimes they have that general seduction thing, but then sometimes they have that specific where they point it directly at a man. Those are times that they might give some choosing signals. Now, you gotta remember that you can't be stuck into one way. Now, here's another thing with choosing signals. Sometimes a woman would choose you if she sees you. Now, sometimes you might be bopping down the street doing something else, and you see that woman, you like, damn! That's when you gotta use what I call the damn principle. The damn principle is very simple. Whenever you see a woman on the street and the first word out your mouth is damn or whatever equivalent you want to use, you just go ahead and approach her. Unless you can spot that ring from a distance. Some of these women, that don't matter. Make sure cause my glasses be all crooked. Be like this and shit. Y'all don't say shit to me. Ain't nobody. Shit. Even my trolls don't say shit to me about my glasses being crooked on here sometimes. Anyway, you might see that. You might be bopping along. What you supposed to do? Wait for a choosing signal? She walking the other direction. She might choose you if she sees you. So you got to do a cold approach just to put yourself in front of her. And see, at that point, and even in the situation I mentioned, they still making a choice because they got to choose whether they're going to go forward with you. So that's a choice, but it's not a choosing signal. And then if they walking down the street, they ain't going to give it. In fact, there's been times I might meet a woman on her job. And see, you can't trust any signals there because, you know, you going in to buy something. Like I remember I met this very beautiful woman. She's working at a sunglass hut. Never forget that. I went in there and she was selling some stuff and I was like, look, I don't wear sunglasses. I just came in here to holler at you. And she actually appreciated that. Sometimes you just gotta be bold anyway. You can't be stuck in one way. It's just like Bruce Lee said, you can't be stuck in one style. Because the fact of the matter is, and this is a paid video. And some people who might have had some of my paid videos where I'm talking about personality types, different women's personality types respond to men in certain ways. There's some that are very aggressive, like they'll approach you, but some they'll give you signals, and then some other ones you might not feel they're interested. Because I remember a woman in college. She would walk past me and avert her eyes. I mean, I was like, I wanted to just stop her. I wanted to really just stop her and say, well, damn, what'd I do to you? I don't even know you and stuff. You would think this woman hated me. But then one time, it was like, I was talking with a friend of mine, and this friend knew the woman. So she stopped to talk, and then we started talking. Let's just say that woman was fun after that. But she was shy. See, that's another thing. Some of these women shy. Even if they're interested, you got to remember, these women are still shy. You got some women, they're going to be shy. Many of them are risk averse. They're insecure. You know, and one thing, too, it's not like women, even though women in general are more emotional, they can hide that shit. They can hide that shit. That's how, like, women, they could, like, cheat. They can cheat on their husband for 20 years. He don't catch anything. Because if he were to look a dead in the eye and say, hey, were you out with this other man? They'd be like, no. And they won't show any indication. So you can't go by that all the time. Now, in general, this is my general philosophy. Still look for the choosing signal. Still look for the choosing signal in general. Because it makes it easier for you. You're not wasting time. Plus, if you're a man who's doing something, you out there making it happen, you don't always have time to like chase every woman anyway, and it takes the guesswork out. But if you see that woman and she got whatever you like, because y'all know I like the bud dunk. I'm the president and founder of Loafer, lovers of fat asses. That's PH, fat asses. So if I'm out here, I see a big round booty, I ain't gonna be like, well, let me wait for a choosing signal, put myself in the way. I might not see her again. I'm hollering on the spot. She just gotta tell me no. Shit, I got somebody in my phone now I met that way. It was in a mall. She's selling some stuff. I walked up to her. I said, look, I don't need what you're selling. I came up there to holler at you. Sometimes you just gotta be bold like that. And women like that sometimes. Because the thing is, sometimes women ain't always looking around like we might look around. Sometimes they in their phone, or they got something on their mind. They working, going to work, coming from work. You know, they ain't just out here just trying to catch men's attention all the time. They got their own lives. And sometimes you gotta put yourself in a position. Then she chooses. Now, here's the problem. The only time the cold approach is a problem is if in the first few seconds in which a woman make a choice, she's looking like, get the fuck out my face. And she's just being polite. If you continue then that's when you're being stupid. But you gotta give her a chance to see. And then sometimes you just gotta shoot that shot. Like with that woman I mentioned. She's still in my phone now, and this is shit. Man. It's well over 25 years when we met. But, you know, we'll see each other around every now and then, especially if I'm in D.C. And it's like, boom. It's like, boom. Now, Also, what I was saying about the approaches, ultimately, is when you out here, you gotta be open for everything. You gotta be open for everything. You can't be stuck in one mode, like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for choosing signals, or even I'm just gonna cold approach. You gotta be able to deal with everything, because sometimes the women will approach you. If generally a woman might approach a man if you look fine enough to her. That's one, and two, if you look approachable. If you like, women actually think in those terms. They will approach you, and they'll do it indirect or something. They'll ask you. You might be in a grocery store. They ask you about some avocados or something if you standing near, knowing neither one of you. You don't deal with avocados, and she probably couldn't pronounce avocado. She just reading the word or something, but you standing next to her. You gotta be open for that. Like if a woman put herself right in front of you, and she might not necessarily choose, she might not smile, but if she put herself in your immediate vicinity, that's actually a choosing signal. But she's actually approaching you. She's saying, look, here I am. Because the way it really should work, the woman, I don't care how much she wants you, whether she chooses you, approaches you, she want to see if you're going to make that move. You got to be bold. You got to be bold. So, and of course, about choosing signals. And really, I'm going to tell you what, choosing signals can be confusing anyway, to be honest. That's why you can't be 100% on anything, because sometimes a woman might look at you, and depending on their subculture, they might smile a little bit. Like for the white guys who follow this, and for the brothers who chase white women, sometimes white women just smile like normally. I think it's a defense mechanism. That gets into some deeper shit, just to keep you from like jumping on her. Because Europeans had a history of violence against their women, and so they might just smile, just in general, look you over. They just checking you out. They doing it once over, and because your shoes ain't tight or something, they like, nah. That don't mean she's choosing. She's just checking you out. There's a big difference. So you gotta take that. You gotta keep in mind, no matter what, you still gotta approach them. You still gotta approach them, or if they approach you, put themselves in a position, you gotta be ready to take the move. Ultimately, you gotta make the move. You gotta make a move, regardless of how they do. And like I said, some women I've dealt with a lot of women. They were just, I remember once, man, she was fat as shit. She'd be on like this little stair climber. I'd just be seeing that butt go up and down. And it was in a gym. She just go in there. She wouldn't socialize with anybody. She stayed to herself, wouldn't smile. I met her, boom. Yeah, that was good. Seriously. So you can't be stuck in anything. You can't. To me, it's a non-debate. It's like, it's like if you got a martial art, you might have some martial arts that you practice that you want to use a lot of kicks, and then somebody else might have one they don't really have any kicks, but it might be a good grapple game that you got to have. You got to be able to switch up. You got to be like Bruce Lee, because, and this is a deeper conversation, if I really got into metaphysics of it, there's like 9 types of women out there. There's 9 archetypes I could explain. I'm not going, if I do it, it'll be a paid video, trust me. So, and each one is going to respond to a man differently. So sometimes, depending on the woman, like if you stick with one, okay, like if you stick with choosing signals, just pure choosing signals, you'll get some play, but they're like, out of 10 women, you might get 3 of them, but 4 more of those women would have gave you some if you approached them. And then if you just approaching, then you missing out. Like, say you approach 4 of the women, and they interested. Let's just make it easy. They interested, but then the other 6, for whatever reason, they would give you the signals, or they might have approached you, but you weren't open to it for whatever reason, or you ain't pick up on the signal. You ain't pick up on the signals, and it's so on. It's so many things. If you see, thing is, when you see that fat butt woman, or big breast woman, or beautiful face woman, you don't know. So what you have to do is develop all of that stuff. You got to develop an approach game. You got to develop a be cool game for when they come to you. You know how to play that off, how to handle that. You got to develop the ability to read a woman. Now, you don't have to develop all that stuff, but if you're really trying to expand your options, and that's all I'm like preaching on here. Some people be like, oh, you trying to be players and fuck all these women. No, I'm giving you options. I'm giving you options. So the more you can employ whatever way, you can do whatever. You're not stuck in one mode. Because, like, say you one of those cats that's used to being approached, usually because, like, women think you're attractive. All right, say you see a woman you think is fine, but she think you all right. What you going to do? She might think you cool if y'all talk, but you're going to have to approach her to find out. So you got to be able to switch the shit up. You got to be able to, so that's my thing. It's not really an argument. Like, when people talk about this and that, man, people got to recognize this. Well, women ain't the same. It's different styles, different dojos. Ain't no right or wrong way. It depends on your personality. Some dudes just got that extroverted, bold ass personality. They don't give a fuck. Let them do them. Then some dudes are more introverted. They need to be approached. What people have to do is figure out what it is with them. And if they are a more extroverted, aggressive type of dude, figure out how to maximize their approaches. If you're a more introverted dude or something, you got to figure out how to maximize your bait so the woman will come to you. That's it. I mean, and I talk about this stuff on, I don't usually promote my Rom TV, but I got a series on there, Pool Styles, because I want Rom TV to be like a library. Like, I can just sit back and y'all just go to that library. Any question you got, you can find. Pool Styles. So I talk about different pool styles and different ways you can get women. And it has to fit your personality. Because the worst thing is to try to, like, if you're just not that type of person who want to approach everybody, you can't really do that. But you can still work on your body. You can still work on your style so they'll come to you. And then at the same time, there's some dudes who get offended if a woman make a first move on because they want control over the whole process. Okay, they got to approach. They just got to maximize it. So as far as that cold approach argument, ain't argument. It's a style. Let's respect it. Let's respect it. If they want to do it, let's respect it. That's all. That's why I don't get in beefs with different dating coaches. That's something too. When Alan Roger Curry, the founder of Mode One, copyright Alan Roger Curry, he had said, you get people in these comments and he said, well, so and so said this and so and so. It's like, hold up, man, it's different ways. Go with the style that resonates with you. That's it. Shit. I've known players out here. You get some players, they come out here, women think they fine, they tall, buff, and then you get some guys, shoot, they got average body, but they got a killer ass mouthpiece. You got to figure out what works for you and go with it. So there's no argument. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Just everybody develop your style. Anybody following us, like if whatever I say don't resonate with you, I'm not offended if you say, well, I'm gonna go to this other coach or go to this other whatever. I'm not offended. I'm saying, dude, you got to do what works for you. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.